Honestly, before I start, I'm going to clear the table a bit. But I'm going to do a video. And I'm going to challenge myself for once. And I'm going to record it. Right, let's clear the table. I mean, it looks a little bit tidy. It's not tidy, but it looks tidier. So, box that you can just see down there in the corner came from my mate Dwayne. Just move my brew. What he has sent me very kindly, because he clearly thinks that I don't do anything in life, is a JPM Impact R processor, and it says displays both error codes, no boot. Okay, so we've got a potentially faulty JPM Impact R. Impact R basically means it's a reproduced card. My mate Matty, shout out to him, Matthew Potter. Right, so then he sent me error code 4.4 on a board that's been repaired. So this is a Maygay M1B 1995 revision. See where it's had work done in the past. A lot of the main stuff's been socketed, but it's got a fault 4.4. In my head, 4.4 would be switches. So it's likely to be those likely to be. If you ever watch Magic's channel, Magic will tell you the likely fault areas from the plugs generally are around there. Not always, there's some real red herrings, don't get me wrong, but general rule of thumb. So I'm guessing that's got a switch fault. Moving swiftly on. That's the board that I've done in the past, look, last year. And that tries to boot, red light on, no boots, that just doesn't boot at all. Okay, so that's that one. Moving on to the next one, we've got all working except for a row of lights out. By row of lights, it could be a few scattered around, and it could be resistors, transistors, or it also could be these bad boys, pre-drives, which are well known for going. There seems to have been something not gone well up there as well that might need investigating, so it could be there as well. So that's somewhere in that area. And then probably wasn't blown up when I sent it. And then this one works except for no working alpha. And I did that in 2024, so that got done 2 years ago. We've got no alpha. And we're going to start with that one. Action is going to be to see how much of this I can fix in one day. Today is the 28th of February, so it's the last day of February, unless it's a leap year, don't even know, don't really care. But yeah, it's 28th of Feb today. And honestly, I'd booked 3 days off. It just sort of came together, and I was like, do I go away and do some slotting, which is tempting, or do I ignore the slotting because I kind of want a few days to myself? And do I just chill out, maybe bob over Blackpool on Monday, because I've got to pick a carcass up off Callum for something that I'm going to do as a rebuild for my channel. So what I thought I'd do, I thought football's on, there's plenty of stuff to watch on TV, and I've got test rigs. So if we move over here briefly, we have a fully working test rig there, which is all good in the hood. So we've got a test rig there. And if we come on the other side there, we've got another test rig here. However, I've just finished doing a roller coaster last week for Mr. Pritchard, which he very kindly blew up the main boards for, which shout out to you. And it's got nothing in it at the moment. So, I kind of, in my head, I don't want to labour going on about it because it could end up being quite a long video. But in my head, I was like, if I can pass on some of my knowledge to other people and hopefully, listen, I'm a hobbyist, it's all self-taught, yeah? all been taught by Magic, painstakingly, in fairness to Magic. But all of the work that I've done is a culmination of maybe 5-6 years worth of buying fruit machines, tinkering with them, and fixing them. I have regrets like everybody else, but if it's something I can do within these videos which is going to help keep machines alive, because I won't do this forever, and I'm 47 years old, and it'll remain a hobby of mine probably for quite a while, but eventually I'll stop. Like, everybody will eventually. So while I can do stuff and I can show other people, why don't I? I've got my second channel, my backup channel, and I can probably put these fixes, if I can get them to work today or down the line, into my second channel as like independent videos on them. However, I can also put the whole thing out on my main channel and show how hard I have to work, or hopefully not work in this case. But anyway, let's crack on. I've talked for far too long. So we're going to start with this, but at the same time, we might as well have a little look-see at this as well. So I'm going to put this onto a tray on the table, and then we're going to go from there. Back in a mo. Okay, so from Dwayne's care package, what we have done so far, I've not done anything. I've not turned anything on. All I've done is literally put one of my processor cards in it, my Kung Fu ROMs into it. I've zeroed all of the DIL switches on it. I've attached a logic probe to it, which I probably don't need at this stage, but there we go. We have got it. And all I'm going to do, and we've connected an alpha. That's literally it. So the symptoms are no alpha. So ping her on. Hopefully no smoke billows out the board, but ping her on, and then 6 seconds, you get your light on, and then hopefully we'll get a flashing light eventually. If we get a flashing light, we'll either get an alpha or we won't get an alpha. Teddy, come here, my mate. Come here. It's not woke up yet, has it? We may be here for quite some time. We might not be. Let's see if it's going to try to boot. So that's what pin 9 should be doing of the 616. It's high-low pulsing, it's not stopping, it's trying. So potentially it's just one of these. Sometimes boards do take a while to wake up on the table. So let's sit and wait. See if we can get any life out of her. That would be nice. I might have to get a brew counter because I might be drinking quite a lot of tea today. What do you like a cuppa, as we all know? She's thinking of starting, but that's all she's doing. Let's check pin 9 again. Yeah, still high-low pulsing. They can take 5 minutes to start as well, which is slightly irritating, I know, but at the moment all we can do is sit and wait and see what she decides to do and check that the symptoms are the symptoms. And people will write stuff on a board, they'll mix boards up. Maybe I'm in front of the one that doesn't boot at all, who knows? Or something's stopping it from booting. So very, very quickly, like the important ICs for boot. U1 and U2 are important. Which are those two? See, I've labelled them U1 and U2. I've got U5, which does most of the work. 68681. U8 is involved in the boot. U9 is involved in the boot. 14 is involved in the boot. That little bad boy is involved in the boot. Knocked over my alpha. It doesn't like it wants to start, does it? Which is irritating. And U10, that's also involved in the boot. U3 is involved in the boot. And U6 often causes loads of resets. But all that sort of stuff is your main bits of an impact board. There's quite a bit. I'm quite irritated she doesn't want to start. Because she's trying. And it could be, so with the alpha, so again, this is magic and the alpha plug and giving you a few clues. But off here, several of these, there's not many traces up here. Several of these pins go into U10. So U10 is one of your most important parts of it. And then it's driven by that one there, U22. Now, U10 itself can stop a boot. So it is entirely possible that I've just got a bad U10, and when it was turned on before, it was potentially being halted by the bad alpha, but that U10 could potentially be bad. That would be my first port of call. I can't test that in the Mini Pro. I have said this on previous videos. I do have a board out there that allows me to test this to an extent. So I just fire it on the table, set up exactly as we've got set up now, and that's where we're at. I am just going to turn her off and on again. I'm just going to unplug that just to see. Although I might have to put you down a sec. Just to see. So we'll see if we get any change in state. Now I don't have an alpha attached to it. There we go. Look, there we go. So we are getting a boot without an alpha on there. So we can see dead clearly that I'm just going to try and plug it in whilst on it. You probably shouldn't, but I don't really care at the moment. So, oh look, see all that junk we've got on there. Now, that might be because I've just done that, but there's a lot of junk on the alpha. But the alpha's actually working. So it could be, I mean obviously the alpha display works. It could be a bad U10. It could be a U22 issue. I don't know at this point whether it's that or that. I don't actually know. But we know the board boots, which is important. Now, somebody might have that in a machine at home, and when they've got that in a machine at home, they just assume they've got a bad board. And there's a lot of junk on the alpha again, look. Teddy's going to bark at stuff all day. So a lot of junk on the alpha, but it's not booted either, which is interesting, isn't it? So, alright, we've definitely got an issue in this area. Shouting at the dogs. It has booted up, as from where we were, with the junk on the screen. So we know we've got some issue around this alpha display. What I am going to do while we're here is I'm going to have a look at Matty's Impact R and just see what that does. I'll just disconnect the alpha though. Go again. So I've just swapped over to the Impact R, or better check, there's no ROMs in it. Yeah, there's no ROMs in it. Good, thank God for that. Right, let's try again. Because that would cause conflict if we had two sets of ROMs trying to be read. I have done it in the past. See if it's still... There you go. Right, so I mean, the Impact R is booting on a table. Again, we don't know if it works, if it doesn't work, but that's some good news as it's working on a table. Let's focus on getting this to actually do what it's meant to do. That's the next job. Okie dokie. So, first thing I'm going to do, the iron's already warm anyway, so I'm going to take U22 out. I'm just going to test that and see if it works in the Mini Pro, on a laptop, on the table. That's the first job. Then, if that does work, great. We will move on to this and we will have a look-see at her, which will mean swapping her out for a known good one. Desoldered that. You can see I've desoldered it. So I just use a normal little solder sucker with a bit of silicone on the end. That's kind of had its day, but it'll carry on being used for a bit, and I'll just cut a bit more silicone off. So I've disconnected this. I'm just going to show you how I take a chip out. So I've got a knife, and it's got the edge cut off it. And I literally go underneath it like that, and then I come around the other side, and then I just sort of ease it out the other side. There we go. Literally ease it out. You probably didn't see that at all, but then pull it off. You need to be really, really careful. You need to make sure you've desoldered everything properly, because if you don't desolder everything properly, some of these little tiny traces will end up coming out with your chip. If something's got hot, sometimes it just happens. There's nothing you can actually do, but touch wood, fingers crossed and all that. If you do it properly and you take your time and you make sure it's clear, then your pins all wiggle before you take it out and you can feel them moving, you shouldn't have a problem. You should just be able to pull it out. Right, so that's that bad boy out. Get a laptop. Okay, so the chip is in. It's a 7432. Well, we'll hit auto find. That normally tells me what I'm looking for. There you go, 7432. And then we just go to the top here and we just type in 7432, 7432. And then we hit the word test and it should all come up perfect. Yes, it does. Normally, like I said, I've said this on a previous video, if you hit auto find it, don't find it, it's normally going to have bad pins. And I never went through this before, but there are all your pin numbers as well. So it'll say which pins are bad. Bear in mind that Magic always says to me this is feeding it good data, not bad data. So yeah, so test, all good. We know it's not that can get pulled back straight back into the board. I'm going to try and show me soldering. So this area here is where I'm going to be soldering. Don't know how successful this will be. I'm on my little mini tripod, but hopefully I'll be able to show you. I'm not going to show you all of the soldering that I do. I'm just going to show you me doing a chip. I've got some half decent solder as well, which will help me. So solder. It's about 0.8 or 0.7 mil, I think. So literally all you do, hot soldering iron. There we go, 1 pin done, 2 pins done, 3 pins done, 4 pins done, 5 done, 6 done, 7 done. Right, so then they're all checked. I will always check them against light, by the way, so I'll always spin them up to the light to do them, and I will just try. I should probably have to see better now on this side. We're doing the other side of the board, and all I'm doing is just feeding the solder into the holes. That's all I'm doing, just feeding it through, making sure we've got plenty there, and then making sure we don't have any bridges. You shouldn't get any bridges most of the time, as long as you're feeding it through. There is flux in the solder, you don't need to flux it up to do through all. And there we go, so they're all done. Hopefully you got to see me do that, I'm hoping. Try and show you on the camera. And there we go, it's that little badger that's there, all nice freshly soldered up, don't look like there's any holes, done. Show you quickly, I won't show you the whole thing, but I'll show you. So that's the bad boy, U10, that I want to take off. I'm just going to show you how you do it with a solder sucker. So what you would do, I'll start from the top because I don't think you're going to be able to see it if I get to the bottom. But so all you do is you heat the pin and you solder suck, and then it's out. It's a bit bent over, that one. And then I'm literally going to work my way down this. This is a 40 pin IC, so it will take a bit of time, and you need to be careful just to prevent ripping any traces when you try and remove the chip later. There will be solder going, unfortunately, everywhere, but that's me removing it with my manual sucker. I have got a plug-in one, but it's crap, so I just refuse to use it. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I've got it out. It's not taking me a long time to take that out. Now, why would I not cut that out and I've removed it? So, a lot of people who do repairs, stuff I've watched online, Magic as well, will often cut an IC out. If he thinks an IC is bad, he'll definitely cut it out. Now, I think that's bad. I think it's probably the problem, but I don't know it's the problem. So, I mean, running from here, so it runs from all over there and it runs through these sill packs. So it could be sill packs giving a bad reading, it could be that one's cracked, they crack dead easy and they're fine, you can't see them. So I don't know that's bad as I sit, so that's why I've taken it out. So that's why I've removed it. I've removed it nice and cleanly. This one's been out before. I'll clean up all the holes again, and then I will replace it with one that I've had on the table that I know works. That's my next plan. Okay, so I've changed it with one it's got a JH tick on it, so have cheat codes to some extent in that I've got a load of 71055Cs that over the time I've been fixing them, and I bought load at one point as well. I know work, there's some other chips on there as well, but I know they work, right? So I've got a cheat code for that. So at least I'm now at a stage where I'm known working here. Okay, I've checked there's no gaps through, they're all soldered in nicely. We're good to go. So let's turn her on. This is where I could end up down a rabbit hole if I still have the same fault. And then I'll be like, right, okay, so my U10 that I've taken out was good, potentially. So let's see what happens. So, oh, hello. There we go. Error 4.4, which is probably, it's looking for something that's not there. Ultimately, a lot of them will give you error, MET60 error. So the first thing a lot of them look for is the meters. But as we can see, I've got no switches attached, so it's looking for something that is not there. Or could it be? It's 4.4 on these potentially. It's looking for percentage key. Could be percentage key error. Have got one knocking about somewhere. I'm just going to fire one on. I've got a switchable key. Let's just throw a switchable key on, because a lot of them do like to know there's a key there. Let's try and put it on the right way around, shall we? There you go. Make itself look slightly semi-competent. Right, let's turn that back on again. Let's see what you're now doing. There we go. Now we're getting 8.3, which is RAM resetting. And then it's going to give me an error for maybe reels or MET60 or something. 9.4, whatever 9.4 is. There we go. Right, so it came with a fault. The fault was I don't have a alpha. That fault has definitely gone away. Now I need to throw it in a machine, see what's doing. So the fun bit. So she's all in. Plugged her in. I'm using Kung Fu's processor. I'm using Kung Fu's ROMs. I'm using Kung Fu's sound card. It's set up correctly. It's got a percentage key on it. Moment of truth. Let's see what you do. It's sort of semi-promising. Always does that with doors open, by the way. So let's shut the doors. See what we do with the door shut. And we are turned on. This is good. I shall get a couple of quids and see what we're doing with a couple of quids. I'll have to just turn it off a sec. Back in one sec. A few pounds I made earlier. And we are showing up 5 on there, which is good. We'll zoom out. Speaker's not in a good place. Unfortunately, it is actually the speaker as well. I have got a spare knocking about. I will at some point fit that, but for now I'm not asked. So you hear it, it's muffly. At some point we shall replace the speaker, but that is working. The only thing I need to check really, that I haven't checked, is it pays out. Because the last one I did, the roller coaster that I did for Andy Pritchard, I have like more than 3. Probably not. Should have just took me 3, shouldn't I? I need a win. Oh, got a wins there. Oh, we'll be greedy and have £3. Now we'll just play off the credits. So we'll at some point sort that speaker out because it's irritating the shit out of me. All good in the hood, working. Get misdiagnoses where people send me stuff. So processor card for Kung Fu I've just taken out and just banged it there. That's just chilling. And then I'm going to flip the switch on this one and just see what this is doing now, because that's kind of my next job now. I've got a working board inside it. I know my board works. Let's see what you do. And Dwayne might be absolutely right, and it might be faulty. And Dwayne might not be right, and it might work. So let's confirm or deny whether you run. RAM resetting that, by the way. If you have a little pops there, that's always a RAM clear. Let's shut the door. Have a pound on the floor. I have a few in my hand. Okay, so he says errors. Other than my crummy speaker, which is irritating me more than you lot, trust me. We have a win. I'm just going to collect it and just check it wants to pay out.
You fight well, my son.
All good in the hood. Right, so what I will do now, because he said there's something potentially wrong with that, and I know that I've already fixed his first main board, I will just leave that running his processor now for a bit. That's all I'll do, just leave it running his processor. Because, assuming his processor is good, which I believe it probably is, and it isn't the processor throwing the errors up, then it can just get wrapped up and go back to him. So, Matty, all good. Your impact art is working. It is not faulty. So that's where we're at the moment. So, of the 5 things he sent me this morning in the post, and the post didn't get here till 10:30, and I had to take my wife to work and various other things, that we are just dead on 12. I'll be turning the TV over for the footy in a bit, and I'll just leave these on now for a little while just to check and confirm, and I'll move on to something else. Moving on to the second one. So this one, all working except row of lamps out, so lights. Things that I've noticed on this board. So at some point in 2021 I did this board. Right, so not a clue what's gone on there, but I really don't like the look of it at all. Don't know what's gone on there. Up here, I mean, something's been getting very bloody hot there, for starters. Some of them might have been and all. But I don't really know where to start. That's the problem here. So most of your lamp issues where you've got lamps out, would be caused by this area. So I'm probably going to check this area out first, and these out first. I'm going to probably remove most of that bank, and have a look, see what damage has been done underneath it, because these diodes go into these transistors here. So potentially I've got an issue here. It's just not the cleanest of boards in the world anyway, but I'm going to start investigating things and try and rule a few bits out, I guess. Okay, so I've cleaned up that area with a bit of IPA. Nothing really to see here. I'm going to remove this lot next. Right, so all of those diodes are out. We can see where we've been getting very hot. D67. Is that D88 underneath or 60? No, 68 above. That area, all of it. So I'm going to clean it up with IPA. And then probably most crucially, I'm going to find out where that's going to. Now, I know it's definitely going to there. No, it's definitely going there. But the other side of it is going to go somewhere. So I'm going to find out where that's going, because that may well be my issue. I've given it a bit of a clean up. You can see I've even used a fiberglass pencil just to clean them up a bit. But yeah. Let's see where they go to next, and also check that is still buzzing and it hasn't just gone. So they go up into that plug there for the LEDs. They go there. All of them. So I've got theories in my head. If a board was laid down flat, is it possible that a coin has got stuck between a couple of them, caused the heat? Is it coming off wherever that goes to? Now the only way I can figure that out is that that's going to go into that plug. We have got some coming out of the plug, so I'd have to trace where they're all going and see if they're going into any of these. See if I can figure it out. I mean, that's fudged. Look, that's well fudged. Let's compare that. That shouldn't look like somebody's chewed it. To that one there, which doesn't look like any bit. That's how it's meant to look. That's how, right, so that's definitely bad. So I'll probably at this point, I'm going to swap you out. I'm going to swap you out. And I'm going to test you. 2803As love going, by the way. There's loads of them on these boards. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace all those diodes in there. I'm going to swap out this chewed up. That's a resistor pack. I think that's what it is. It's a bank. Basically, that's one big bank of resistors. That's the resistor. That's all them resistors. So I'm going to swap that out as well. That's clearly not as it. That's how it's meant to be. Right, that's my next plan of action. So, wasn't happy with some of the readings coming off the sill pack. So, I've also removed that. I also damaged it getting out, so I couldn't test it out of circuit to find out. And then that's coming out and going as well. So that whole area is just coming off. And I'm going to replace everything. That's where we are at the moment. So the 2803A, I genuinely believe the sill pack was probably okay. I think it was probably the 2803A that's causing an issue with the readings off that when it was in circuit, but obviously it's broken coming out, so it's out. So all three of them are out. So your resistor pack's out there, your sill pack's out there, and your U20, which is a potential likely cause of the issue, and then all of that lot. So it's going to take me a good probably hour to get all the other chips that I need off other boards, off scrappers, and start rebuilding. I had a break for a couple of hours, so I've grabbed this board, and a lot of corrosion down here, as you can see there. So it wasn't one that was ever going to get saved, but all that stuff in the top corner looks pretty good. So I'm going to steal it all. So we have put in the resistor pack there. Can't really read it, even though we're in 4K. So resist pack's in, new resistor pack. So you meter across from pin, the consecutive pin on each side on them to check they're okay, that's fine. And then I've put in the resistor pack as well, and that's fine as well. So they're both in. Resistor pack? Yeah. So they're both in, they're fine, no problems. I'm going to get a 2803A, pop one of them in next. And then I'm going to put the diodes in. Honestly, like, I could have rebuilt this just to find out it's nothing to do with any of that. And I couldn't leave it anyway, so I would like to hope. In this case, the big black jar mark there was probably a good giveaway of what's going horrifically wrong with this one, but yeah, that's where we are. I've got it back together, I've rebuilt it. Going to give it a whirl on the table, check it's booting on the table next. By the sticker, this shouldn't be moment of truth, but I suppose we never know. So, won't mind that just standing up where it's meant to stand up. Don't care if it's upside down or the right way around, as long as it... That'll do. That'll do for now. There we go. So that confirms Dwayne's diagnosis to that point is accurate. The only other thing we can now do with this one is try it in a machine and hope that everything lights up and it doesn't go kablamo. We shall find out. Just quickly, I have stuck a key on it. And it's doing exactly the same thing as the other one, which is a good sign. I've taken the other one out of Kung Fu now. That's going to be wrapped up and put away. Right. I'm going to stand near the plug just in case, but we shall see what happens with this one. Remember, he said they were out, not blown. Not like the sound of that out of my speaker. That didn't sound promising, did it? The good news is it's not on fire.
Oh, you're the bacon gunner.
Oh, I'm not, because it's not booting. Much later in the day. However, it was actually my own fault. Not a surprise, does happen. Underneath the socket, two of the pins were touching, and that's what was causing the issue. So I'm hoping I've sorted it all. I've got a lamp out the want out before. We still have my dodgy speaker. But that's two broken machines that are back to, well, boards that are back to life.
You fight well, my son.
In the morning I'm going digging the speaker out. Oh, that doesn't start, James. Right, we're good. That is working. I'm just going to check these lamps just in case. Let it boot up. No, I've got some that have gone out that weren't out before, which is irritating. Yeah, another couple there. So they were all working, and now they're not all working, which is somewhat irritating. So I'll find out why and sort it. Good news is it was just the plug, so it's not actually the board, which which is good. So, happy days. Right, we're back living. Right, so just give you a quick update. 7 o'clock at night. Just going to leave that one on now. Swapped over the processor card, so I'll put the red one back on it. Might as well test with Dwayne's red processor rather than my definitely 1,000,000% working green one. And I'm going to move on to board number 3. So tries to boot this one. Tries to boot. And I did it, it's not one of mine. It's not a good advert for me, this, is it? I did this one in 2025. So it's only last year. And it apparently doesn't work. Right, I suppose let's have a look at it, won't we? So if we can get 3 impacts done in a day, that's not bad. Maybe don't get as far as doing the M1 that's over there. But who knows? Let's see what happens. So I'm using a different game card this time. I'm using Gives a Break. It will say meter 60 error because that's what Gives a Break looks for. I know that for absolute facts because I've used it for so many boards. Anyway, right, let's see what's going on, if anything. I've also got my probe on at the moment just to see if... So... Are you going to boot? Are you not going to boot? What are you going to try and do? Anything? Just going to have a quick look at pin 9. And pin 9 suggests she's trying to boot. So let's wait.
Here's Reinders. Bernardo Silva.
Is she trying to boot, or is she not trying to boot? But she doesn't appear to be filling me with much joy at the moment.
Turned it around against Dortmund. They were trailing. It's 2 goals now for Harry Kane, so that's their 30 in this league campaign for the England striker.
Doesn't appear to be trying too hard, does it? Let's get rid of that sticker. Let's check. It's not socket related. Interesting. Error 2.9 for reals. That's a bit odd. They are definitely Give Us a Break ROMs, aren't they? Yeah. So that's erroring the general reels, which means it's past the meter detect. Which it shouldn't do, because we haven't got a meter attached to it. Interesting. Let's just run it again, see what happens. Just going to drop that off as well. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it's done the same. Not that I'm not convinced, but I'm not convinced. I guess I'll have to have a look at a few bits here and just see what things are doing. Now, this could go wrong. Just if I slip, it could go wrong. I'm just going to have a quick check of this IC down here. So all I'm going to do is just check the meter the voltages. So there's a ground pin up near the top, so I'm going to use that. I'm just going to be a little bit careful because you short them. That's a little bit under 5 volts. It should be 5 volts. That's about correct. That's about correct. That should be 0. That is 0. Should I have to swap hand? It should be... No, it should be a bit higher than that. No, maybe that's about right.
He's had to make a save.
That's right.
Time's ticking down.
Again, that's low. Should be near a 5 volt, that. That's going to go over limit, but I can fix that as well. I can just flip that to there. About 28, I think it is, that pin. Yeah. I am not 100% certain why it's bypassing the meter. I really am not convinced. Starting to doubt myself. So maybe the third board was misdiagnosis. Or maybe there is something wrong. We don't know just yet. Not 100% on this one yet. But it's booting that far on the table. With the other ROMs in. So it's now got Kung Fu ROMs on it. And it's booting exactly the same as Kung Fu was booting. So... who knows? Do we have a problem? Don't we have a problem? I'm 50-50. There's only one way to find out. It's going to be to stick it in the machine. Is it misdiagnosis or have we got a fault? Let's find out. Let's find out. That's promising. Oh, that's me putting my hand on there. Less promising. More promising. Oh. I think it was just my hand. Don't put your hand on that. Right. Okay. Oops. Reasonable. It's resetting. So, just remembered its real position. My lamps appear to be on. Let's let it go in a trap before we try pound. Yeah, we're all good in a trap. So this one, probably something else was wrong, maybe sound card, maybe ROMs, something else, but this barcode's closer.
Roll 'em. Aye, and a bacon gunner. Ha-ha, nice move.
Am I about to show you something? I wonder what that was. So board number 3 was just a case of misdiagnosis. People do sometimes they just can't see the wood for the trees with these because there's so many other things in play and you've got other cards and yeah, so Dwayne sent me that assuming faulty. But it's all good. She works. So that's good news, isn't it? That's one less thing to fix for me. So today, considering today started about 11 AM, we've now got definitely 3 working main boards, even though I didn't do anything with one of them. Definitely a working processor, that I didn't do anything with, but 2 boards that I have fixed, which just leaves me a Maygay M1. morning. See whether it's optimistic to have got it done in a day. I don't know. Sun shining, 1st of March. And I now need to look at a Maygay. The first thing I need to do is get rid of that cup, get another cup, get a cup of tea. But before I do anything at all, I've had a little sort of tidy up this morning, but there's still plenty of solder knocking about, which needs to be gone. Yeah, let's have a look at this Maygay. So, let's do things in order. We have a cup of tea. I've gone for my Yorkie #1 dad mug this morning. Right, so error 4.4. So the clue would be your test sequence. So let's just shift that a second out of the way. So for example, test 1.1 is coin test. So if it's telling you the error is 4.4, then it's going to tell you that your issue is somewhere with switches. There's no real mystique to it. Like, the machine is still sort of trying to tell you what's wrong with it to a point. And that could be anything. It could be something not connected. It could be something faulty. Now, in this case, I'm going to suggest, because Dwayne's a former operator, so he should know his way around a board or two, and he's got a very nice collection, that his diagnosis will be right. So, switch matrix is the bottom corner, and we know the issue potentially lies in this little area down here, because as far as we know, the board works, so we know it's not a board related issue, and it's potentially just going to go down transistors. Potentially. I hope it is. That'd be great, and we can just throw it into one of the buses, we can confirm it works, and we can go, yeah, done, happy days. Or it could be one of these down here. Now, my good friend, there he is, the 2803A is in that corner, and yes, they do like to go wrong. They like to go wrong on everything, to be honest with you. So yeah, so we have got one of those. Potentially that'll get swapped. If we can't see anything here, it's either going to be that, which we know we can test, because it's a 74237, so that can definitely be tested. Not sure what that is. I might have other boards, but she's faded pretty badly. But it's 7.4 summer, so it can be tested. So that can be tested, that can be tested, that can't be tested, but we can always replace it, and they can be tested. And that's pretty much where I am right now. Anyway, let's have a look. Pretty hard to show you, but I'll do my best. So you can see the meter. All I'm looking for, so I'm in continuity at the moment, is I'm looking for anomalies. If I can get it to actually... No, wrong way around probably. There we go. Right, so my positive is at the moment on the common line on them. The similar numbers. All I'm looking for is an anomaly. They're all sort of reading 620. They're all reading the same down that side. So I'm just going to swap. I appreciate he's probably not going to entirely see what I'm doing, but most of you'll get the gist. Find it hard work to actually get onto the pins on this. They're all checking out so far. And yeah, some of these are ever so slightly lower. I mean, I'm looking for a reading of like 700 or 500 or something that's just a blatant anomaly. And I'm not getting any blatant anomalies from them. So I'm suggesting that the transistors that I'm testing here are all absolutely fine. They seem to be. She's down to 6% on the PC, so we'll hurry this process up a little bit today. So let's hit the auto find button. Let's go and find that. So go tools, no device, logic IC test. Right, logic IC test. So hit the auto find button. And it's going to tell me 74237, which is what we know it is. So 74237. I'm going to hit test. All good. All good. So that one's good. And then I'm going to put the other one in. Now, if we looked, paid attention before, you'll see numbers are very faded on this one, which means it's been getting fairly warm. You can just about make them out. Hit auto find. Okay. So we see what it actually thinks it is. He says confidently. 74C0 summit. 09? Shows my eyesight's not great, doesn't it? I might have to take a photo of it just to confirm what it is. The good news is it's found loads of stuff. 7404 I reckon it is. Let's try 7404, which is what I think it is. 7404. Yeah, test. And it is. It is 7404. Let's zoom that back out. It's test. All good. So we know they're both good, which is fair enough. What I will do when I put them back in the board is I'll just put a little tick on them just to show that I know they're definitely good. And then we can move away from them. So next job will be to take the other IC off potentially. I have taken the transistor off and I can't see anything out of circuit that makes me think it's bad, but I will swap it anyway. Right, so we've swapped U12, U44 and U45. So they're off and the new one, well, new one in that one's case is on. The old one is sat there. I'm just going to go over the readings again on there, have a little look, just check I've not missed anything. Stick another one of them in there, another transistor, and probably time to throw it in the machine and see what it's doing. One little word of warning as well. Lots and lots on this board is socketed. So socketed. Lots is socketed. And they do creep from time to time. So if you have a socketed board, just make sure everything is in firmly. I mean, this one's come up to me in the post, and Royal Mail not exactly the greatest people at keeping things from getting banged about, although they're better than some. Yeah, that creeped a little bit. So just really important that you just make sure, because what you could do is the board could get to you and it's come from an owner who says definitely works, and then you put it into a machine and you find that some of these are not in properly, and like this has had a lot of work done. Somebody somewhere has taken an awful lot of time done on it, probably arcade repairs. So it's just really important that if you do get one sent to you in a post, if you bought it, whatever, and it has got a lot of stuff that's socketed, that you just check that everything is nice and firmly in. I de-socket a lot of boards that don't need socketing because that problem goes. And you do get something called board flex as well. So if a board, when it sits into its housing, has pressure on it and bends it, actually just pops them back out anyway. So not so bad with these, because you can get away with just banging one screw through the top of it, and that'll the ball just hang rather than putting them all in. Or you can put all the plastic clips in if you want, but again, like I said, it's just something to be mindful of. Right, hold on to your seatbelts. Let's see what you're doing. Hopefully more than that. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I don't like the way it's just restarted. Unless that's come out. That might have come out. Might have been my bottom door. Shall give it the benefit. Just keeps restarting. Oh good, we've got a fault. Excellent. It's thinking about starting, doesn't it? It thinks about it. Well, door open, it's booted, no problem. Now it stops again, even door open. Oh goody, we've got a fault. It thinks about staying on, doesn't it? Might have to consult the magic man over this. That definitely isn't a switch fault. Well, I don't think it's a switch fault. I suppose it's possible it is.
Kebab! Oh, hot sauce!